Okay, so tips on how to get better at handstands. This was originally going to be a video dedicated only to getting better at saving a handstand, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized as you get better at handstands, you will also get better at saving the handstands. What's helped me get better at saving handstands holding longer is these tips I'm going to show you in this video. Number one, standing tall in the handstand. I put this at number one because this is probably the single biggest thing that I had trouble with as I was learning how to handstand and clean up my form and get more consistent, so on and so forth. Standing tall. Okay? See, what I had a lot of trouble with was I would kick up and I'd be in that position, okay? But then I'd feel myself sinking like this, which is what you don't want to do. To stand tall, you want to, when you kick up, you want to push the ground away as hard as possible. Straighten your arms out, elevate your scapula, bring your shoulders to your ears, and push the ground away. Pushing through the shoulder. So this kind of ties into standing tall, but there's a couple of different ways to push through the shoulder. Number one being when you're in the handstand, thinking about bringing your shoulder to your ear and pushing the ground away. That's number one. But also to avoid overbalancing and underbalancing, and I'll put videos in here giving examples of both of those. The other way to push through your shoulder is when you're underbalancing, when you're falling back, you want to push, okay? You want to push like this. It's kind of hard to show here, but basically if you're like this and you feel yourself going back, you want to push with your shoulders, okay? You want to think about doing a straight arm dumbbell raise or a straight arm planche raise, and you're pushing like this, bringing your shoulder back to your ear, but instead of your shoulder being down here, you're up here but kind of forward. So you want to push, okay, that way, just right here. Number three, using flat hands. This doesn't get talked about enough, I think, because I train handstands primarily on the floor. I actually don't own a set of parallettes. When you're doing it on the floor is when a lot of people encounter wrist injuries because of the angle that your hands are at, you know? It's like real extreme. And it's even more extreme if you're not using flat hands. So When I first started learning how to do handstands, I would like try and grip the floor like as hard as possible. Okay? And see, what that does is, if your hand's flat, there's not really anywhere it can go besides like right there maybe. Okay? But as you curl your fingers and you keep your fingers curled, that creates a more extreme angle for your wrist on the ground. And I'll splice in a video here of me showing what I'm talking about. You want to maintain a flat hand because the more you curl your fingers, the more you arch your fingers, the more extreme this angle gets here, crushing your wrist, and that's how people develop wrist issues on the floor, okay? Number 4, pushing through your fingers. My problem was always overbalancing. Again, my feet going over my head, and that's how I would lose position and then lose the handstand. So pushing through your fingers, okay, and now this helps if you learn how to use flat hands. Pushing through your fingers are what's primarily helping you balance in a handstand. That and the heel of your palm, okay? So it's the same way with your feet, right? Like if you're standing, you're using your toes and the heels of your feet to stay standing upright. And if you go too forward, you're pushing through your toes. If you're going too back, you're pushing through your heels, okay? You gotta think of your fingers like your toes and then the heel of your palm like the heel of your feet. So if you have a problem overbalancing, you should work on pushing through the fingers to prevent yourself going over the top. Tip 4.5, specifically training finger strength is gonna help you push through your fingers better and give you more strength in the handstand. It's real simple. All you gotta do is just do holds on your fingertips, like this. Don't go too hard in the paint too early on. Your fingers are like mostly connective tissue, tendons and ligaments and such, so you gotta give them time to adapt and get stronger. But if you're just doing fingertip holds for a few weeks, okay, don't go to absolute failure, just fingertip holds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, progressively overload over the next few weeks. And then you go to do a handstand using the flat hands, I guarantee you're gonna notice a huge difference, because I noticed a huge difference in my handstand consistency and then my confidence and then my ability to do the handstand, as well as the strength in the handstand position. Number 5, pushing through the heel of your palm. Now, these all build off of using flat hands, okay? If your fingers are curled, it's real hard to feel yourself pushing through the heel of your palm, okay? But once you have a flat hand, you're able to more effectively push through the heel of your palm and get that overhead pressing motion through the heel of your palm. This is especially important if you're learning how to do handstand push-ups like I am right now. Once I figured out how to keep a majority of my weight right along here and then use my fingers only when I need to prevent overbalance, I noticed my strength and my times increase like exponentially. Okay, it's insane. Number 6, tucking the chin slightly. You don't want to tuck the chin too much. You want to be in the handstand looking like this, because then you're just going to go over the top unless you're like really good and you can do look-throughs, okay? But I'm not there yet. Neither are a lot of people if you're watching this video, probably. So don't tuck your chin all crazy. okay? Because then you're gonna fucking fall over. Tuck your chin just slightly so you can bring the rest of your body in line once you're up top. Because if I'm looking at, if the ceiling is the ground right now and I'm looking at it like this, it makes me lose position. Everything gets out of line and it is not good. But if I'm looking at the ceiling like it's the floor, but instead of this, I'm like this, boom, easy, no problem. Because the more you arch your head back, you have a tendency, like I did probably, to lose your hollow body position and then end up rounding your back. And then everything goes to shit. So, stand tall, push through the shoulder, use flat hands, push through the fingers. To get better at pushing through the fingers, you can specifically train fingers to get them stronger. Push through the heel of your palm and then tuck your chin slightly. That's 1 through 6. I'm going to cut the video, write 7 through 10 on here, and then the video will continue in part 2. So, number 7, kick up with shoulders behind your wrists. Again, this is kicking up. So if you enter a handstand any other way besides kicking up, you can ignore this one. But kicking up is my preferred method of entering a handstand. I feel like I get the best height and the best position that way just because I'm the most used to doing it that way. When you're on the ground and you want to kick up, before you even kick up, make sure your shoulders are behind your wrists. And that's because if you start with your shoulders ahead of your wrists, when you go to kick up, you're putting yourself in a bad spot, okay? You're setting yourself up for defeat, okay? Because when your shoulders are over your wrists, ahead of your wrists, and you kick up, you're already entering a state of overbalance. You're already entering a position where your body is going to naturally go forward. So you don't want to do that. You want to kick up with your shoulders behind your wrists. Number 8, feet overhead at all times. At all times. I've heard a lot of stuff through Instagram, through YouTube. Everybody always talks about everything being stacked properly all the time. You got your shoulders on top of your wrists, your hips on top of your shoulders, and then your feet on top of your hips. But what I've noticed is that everything can be out of place, everything can be in bad position, but as long as your feet are over your head and you can maintain that, you'll balance the handstand. Listen, it's not gonna look good, okay? That's the thing you gotta keep in mind. The most important thing in doing a handstand is finding your balance, no matter how you find your balance, okay? You can have the craziest banana back in the world and still be holding a handstand. As long as you're standing on your hands, it's a handstand, okay? So a lot of people, and this goes with like every skill in calisthenics, people want to do the skill perfectly. And it should be done perfectly. But see, the problem is they start doing a skill and then they want to do it perfectly right off the bat, and then they never find a foothold, and then they get frustrated, and then they quit training that skill, and then they only do pull-ups. Okay? I'm projecting here, but listen, like, find your balance no matter what. And what I've found is that if your feet are over your head all the time, you'll have a better chance at balancing the handstand. Once you can consistently balance the handstand with bad form, then you'll be able to clean up the form and eventually get to a good, clean handstand. Number 9, hollow body position. This should be in like tips 1 through 6 probably. Okay, hollow body position, where your hips are in posterior tilt, posterior pelvic tilt. A lot of people walk around with anterior pelvic tilt because they're sitting all the time, and they're okay. You want hollow body position, posterior pelvic tilt, core activated. You don't have to crunch down super hard, but you want your core activated, core braced properly. Okay, this is hollow body position. Now, the best way to get better at the hollow body position is by doing hollow body holds. It's a core exercise on the ground. Once you learn proper hollow body position, okay, you will find that everything in calisthenics gets easier. So if we're going in order of things that you should do, number 8 would be first, finding your balance in the handstand at any cost. And then once you're somewhat consistent with whatever form you may have, then you need to work on hollow body position. But technically speaking, you should be working on your hollow body position from the very get-go, from the very moment you start calisthenics, okay? Hollow body position makes everything easier because it aligns the bottom half of your body properly so that there's no weird leverages or weird energy leaks into positions in the skills, all right? So this is very important, hollow body position. This is where things get a little bit esoteric, a little bit like really niche, you know? Probably I haven't heard anybody talk about any of this stuff that I'm about to mention when it comes to handstands. Not on YouTube, not on Instagram. Shoot, bro, like not even on the bodyweight training forums on Reddit, all right? Okay, drills that can be done without doing a handstand specifically to help balance. Step-ups where you're not looking down at your feet. So what I would do is I would go to the gym and I'd find a plyometric box, 6 inches taller or more. And what I would do is I would envision myself in the handstand. Envision myself stepping up into the position. And if you're stepping up into the position and you feel yourself kind of doing this thing, if you're unbalanced on your feet, you're going to be unbalanced on your hands. Okay, that's the whole point I'm trying to say here. Step ups without looking at your feet. Okay, you want to step up and place your feet where you think they're going to be next to each other. Okay, and then in the handstand, something that I imagined doing was every time I would kick up, I would imagine that I'm stepping onto the ceiling, or that the floor is reversed and I'm stepping onto the floor with my feet above my head. Okay, that also helped me. Another drill that you can do. This requires nothing but somewhere to sit and shoot, man. You don't even have to sit during this, okay? But if you can imagine in your mind's eye the feeling of what it's like to have your feet and your hips above your head in a handstand, if you can imagine that feeling in your mind's eye, and then like have your body feel like it's in that position, okay, chances are you'll get better at handstands. Now, I'm not saying these things that I've mentioned here for number 10 are like end all be alls, and they're like, they take the place of like everything else in the video, okay? That's not what I'm saying. But it's like little niche things, little visualization drills that you can help do to slightly increase your proprioception, which may end up leading to a big increase in handstand consistency in the future, okay? 10.5, bent arm handstands and heavy dumbbell work. Bent arm handstands are great for getting your shoulder strength up. You should probably be working on bent arm handstands before you even try to do a full vertical handstand, okay? Just because they're so good for your triceps, for your shoulders, specifically your front delts, and even a little bit of your upper chest too, okay? And not to mention maintaining the hollow body position, as well as maintaining, in this case, it wouldn't be feet overhead, but feet in line with your head. Bent arm handstands helped me learn how to do both of these better, which carried over to the regular straight arm handstand. And then heavy dumbbells. I know there's a lot of calisthenics purists out there who may see this video, and they only want to do body weight only exercises. But I'm here to tell you, even like a few sessions, like 3 to 5 sessions, where you go super heavy on dumbbell overhead press, seated or standing. You can even do barbell. I never did barbell. I only did seated dumbbell overhead press. It does wonders for your strength in the straight arm position, but you have to do them super heavy. I think the most I did was like 55 pounds each hand for about 6 reps. Now, I am 150 pounds, okay? So I've got 30% of my body weight in each hand doing almost 6 reps. The overhead pressing strength from that generates, carries over exceptionally well into the body weight handstands and even handstand push-ups if you're doing that. There might be people who watch this video and be like, Jack, like, it's calisthenics, why are you using weights? Well, hey man, anything to get the job done. Listen, my goal is not to be a purist. My goal is to learn the skills by any means necessary. And sometimes that takes, doing the weights occasionally. Now, I'm not saying I did them every handstand workout, because I didn't, okay? But, again, the heavy dumbbells will do wonders for your overhead pushing strength. Well, that's it for the video. If you like content like this, feel free to send a like my way, and shoot bro, maybe even subscribe. I got more videos coming. Thanks for watching if you made it to the end. Hopefully some of these tips helped you out. Yeah, if you got any further in-depth questions about anything, DM me on Instagram. My handle will be in the description of the video.